Welcome to Get Your Reviews. So, I wanted for us to have this talk like a stream since I cannot stream at the moment. For a few weeks now, we have WandaVision. I did cover the trailer before the show came out, and since then, I've been watching Grace Randolph and John Campea talking about the show all the time. But I just wanted personally for me to wait it out a bit to see where things are going. Now we have only 2 episodes, and basically there's so many out there, different theories. I listened to all the theories, but since the very beginning, it turns out that I was right about a few things. If you haven't seen the latest episode, please watch it because I'm just gonna talk full spoilers freely so we can really have a go at it. So, guys, at the very beginning, since I did that trailer reaction, I guessed, so to speak, that right there is Agatha Harkness, the witch from the comic books, and it turns out that yes, she is now. And this whole time when I was watching John Campbell, he was like, "Oh, there's evidence there, but she's probably not. she's probably not the Agatha Harkness." I'm like, okay, who else she could be? I mean, is Kevin Feige going to come up with a character that nobody knows out of nowhere, and to call her this way? Agnes? I really doubt that. So there she goes, that is freaking witch there. And then when we see Quicksilver, by the reveal at the end, it turned out that he was also something that is conjured by Agatha. So I was like, okay, how is she doing this? Like making a whole being up. So my theory here is that she's either really making him up, which maybe is not the case. I suppose that he is a separate being, but she's controlling that separate being, meaning that he is under her mind control. So whoever that is, he is controlled by her. He could still be Nightmare, I guess. That is one of the other theories that were rolling around, that he is Nightmare. But I'm not really sure about that. Honestly, to this point, there's a lot of things that were shown in those commercials that hint at different things here and there that we really have to take into consideration. The trailer this week with this pill, that was very, very interesting too. But at least for me, for now, it looks kind of obvious that Wanda is not the one that is doing all of this, or at least not in that sense where she's doing it fully consciously. What I guess here by her behavior, she was just so hurt that she was very open to manipulation, and I don't know how. But Agatha Harkness saw that and decided to feed on her magic, if you reference the previous commercial, and manipulate her to create this reality and to control people. And by using her powers, Agatha somehow takes from those powers. And she's only pretending, obviously, that was shown. She's the one who makes Wanda to do all of those things that she does. So at first when I saw Wanda going down to the basement and obviously Agatha did something to her eyes, I was like, oh, but Wanda is so powerful, right? She's able to escape this, right? Well, not exactly, because if she is controlled by Agatha this whole time, which it looks like that she is, I mean, Wanda does not have any leverage here whatsoever. She is in this world, basically put there by her own means through what Agatha wants. If anyone can get her out of there is basically Monica Rambeau, who also, by the way, John Campia said that no, she's probably gonna get cancer or something. That's not how she gets her powers. But that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, no offense to John because I watched him for years. I really appreciate his show. I literally listen to it like a podcast every day because I don't have actually time to sit and watch it, but I listen to it when I work out and do a lot of other things. The point is that for someone that, watched superhero shows and movies for so long, sometimes he says the most ridiculous things. I mean, that are super obvious. Like Agnes not being Agatha Harkness. Such a thing in a Marvel show or a movie, whatever, will not result in getting powers. Come on. I mean, we all know who Monica Rambeau is. I guess you should have done your research by now that she has powers, and changing her molecular structure going in and out of the hex just makes sense, in this context. Not only that, but some people said, well, what about the other people that are already there? What now? Everybody gonna get the powers? I'm pretty sure that the hex was created around them and they never got out of the border in any kind of a physical way. So now the agents and Darcy that got in and went through the border, they probably will have some kind of effects of that, but until they cross it again or again, they'll probably not get any powers. So first time going through it will probably not do anything significant enough to change someone, at least not to the extent for them to get powers, because otherwise, yeah, everybody will get powers like this, or some people will not have the DNA compatibility and just die. But I suppose that somehow, some way, the hex is just gonna go down, and from there everybody are never going to pass through it again. Now, I don't know where that plot line was going with the mouse rover. That is very crazy to me. How is that going to protect Monica? By the logic of the show, it's logical that the rover is gonna change as well. But it's cool that she kind of realized that she can go through that on her own and retain her, well, everything and not change back, which is awesome. I really love that. I'm not sure what are the things that she's going to be capable of here in the show, but for now it's pretty clear that she can withstand Wanda, at least to a very big extent. She is kind of like her counteract, you can say. Maybe that's gonna help her to be the counteract of Agatha as well. And don't forget to watch the end credit scene, by the way, because this episode does have an end credit scene, and Quicksilver, imposter Quicksilver, shows at the end confronting, Monica. So, yeah, that leads me to believe that he is a separate entity, but he is still controlled in some way. So, some people still say he's Nightmare. Maybe he's Nightmare, but I'm not sure what are his powers compared to Agatha. And if she controlling him is possible, but since they did show how she is controlling him, that's why I say he's either conjured from thin air, which I doubt, or he's really somebody that she can control. Or actually, he is Quicksilver pulled from the freaking Fox universe to come here. So that's also gonna tie in very well to mutants maybe later on. And Kevin Feige does like to tie things in a very unique way that just make us go wow. So maybe, just maybe, he is Quicksilver from the X-Men universe and he is brought here and controlled. He does have Quicksilver's powers, which of course Agatha can always, make up in some way. But then how can you explain exactly the twins' powers? Because the twins, one is similar to Wanda, one is similar to Quicksilver. And it seems that Agatha has a lot of interest in those two kids, like a ton of interest. So it's gonna be interesting to see what actually she is up to. There was a book there in the basement that looks something like some other sorcerer would have given that to her, or is her own book, like who the heck knows. But my main point is that this was Agatha's show this whole time, and that is a pretty big twist. I'm just not surprised. It's logical that she might be the villain. She's just hiding there in plain sight. And yeah, she is. So sometimes when people look for much more complicated theories that they need to be, it turns out that it's something that is like the obvious thing, the obvious thing. Now, I really wanted Darcy to switch to her Two Broke Girls uniform, but that would not make any sense because there has to be a diner. I mean, it would make sense if there's a diner there and she's serving in the diner. But I guess that because she was so close to the circus, how can you explain that she is in a totally different place and in a diner? And Vision came back to himself there, where was the closest point, which was the circus, so she was there too, tied to the car, so yeah, it makes sense. But I really like how Vision snapped her out of it, that was great. And then those opticals that they had, that was probably actually Agnes. Maybe so. maybe it was not even Wanda. I really love how Darcy and Vision talked, and Darcy told him whatever she could. She probably told him a lot more things that we just didn't hear. It was, behind the camera, so to speak. But I really hope that he can do something in this case and help Wanda. Although I'm pretty sure that after the show he is dead. Darcy said that she's not sure how he is alive and all of that, but to me it's obvious that that's not Vision. That's not Vision. That is someone that Wanda created through her memories of him, but I don't think that he is truly Vision. Now, there was something in the trailer from the beginning. We see Wanda how she's looking at the stone and how the stone is basically glowing in her face. So I think that maybe the stone is going to manifest itself through what Wanda did so far. I'm not really sure. One of my favorite theories thus far is that the stone is trying to manifest itself through Wanda. So, in that kind of a way, she can give Vision life for real one more time. But I'm not really sure now that they revealed Agnes to be behind everything. Unless behind Agnes is the stone. It's gotta be very funny, if the stone is manipulating Agnes to manipulate Wanda to create the stone and to physically give it form once more. So that's gotta be so interesting if that's the case. If it's just gonna make the story a bit more thrilling. Now, once again, there was something about the new Spider-Man that in that universe Vision is still dead because Spider-Man is taking place like maybe 3 years after Wanda. So Vision there is still dead, but that doesn't mean that he's gonna be dead for good, or that doesn't mean that he's not gonna be brought back here. I guess that maybe he's gonna die and eventually he's gonna be brought back, but I do think that he's going to be brought back in some way. They have to continue with this WandaVision story. Well, at least that's how I think, because it's kind of very sad to have Vision for so brief time and then to just lose him. So maybe they're gonna, after all, bring him back. Eventually. Maybe. On the other hand, though, Wanda should learn how to cope with the pain and stop doing crazy things, and because she was so down, that is why she was taken advantage of in the first place. So she does have to learn how to control herself. A hero cannot fall so deep into themselves to the point where they lose themselves and what's right and what's wrong just becomes very obscured and blurry. She has to grow. There has to be some kind of a meaningful outcome out of this. So that's why I guess that maybe they're not gonna bring him back right now or later on. But something is going to happen because we did see once again that thing with the stone, or it's a misleading scene and she's just going to have like a out of body connection with Vision before he died. Maybe that's this moment. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. Something that I totally forgot to say. So I think that the title WandaVision is a bit misleading. It's not about Wanda and Vision, but it's more like Wanda's vision, her view, how she sees the world, how she's processing the pain, and how is this mirroring into her view. So, what I'm trying to say is that the title is not about Wanda and Vision. Surely it's about that to some extent, but it's also a metaphor of how she sees things, of how she sees the world, how she perceives the world through that pain and suffering. And once again, that is what makes her weaker and susceptible to this influence that Agnes obviously has. Who knows who else behind the scenes, but let's just say Agnes for now. But sometimes I really get things right, so we'll see. I'm not gonna say anything that I think it for sure because it can always be the opposite. But I'm just, based on what we saw thus far, I'm just guessing that if they want to go into more meaningful route, maybe they will go with the fact that, yeah, Vision cannot be brought back. But if they want to bring back the stone and Vision, they maybe will do that, but still Wanda has to learn her lesson. There's a lot more here to be said, but I'm super excited for where things are going, who's gonna be like the huge, biggest cameo that everybody are speculating about. If you ask me who I think it is, well, they are keeping him secret so much. I even watched an interview with Kat Dennings, and she said that whoever it is, he was hidden on the set too, and nobody saw him. At least she didn't saw him because she only knew what she shot. That's a good way to keep it a secret. A lot of people say Magneto, Professor X, Doctor Strange. I'm not sure. Well, I think Paul Bettany said that he did not work with that actor, but he always wanted to, so uh, not really sure. But it's supposed to be this so huge cameo that is equivalent to Luke Skywalker showing up in The Mandalorian, which was amazing. So I don't really know. I'm trying to think, but some people say Reed Richards, but I don't know if everybody are going to like be so shocked if it's Reed Richards. We don't really have Fantastic Four yet in the universe, so that doesn't make much sense. I guess gonna be somebody that's instantly recognizable, a lot more than Quicksilver, and of course a lot bigger deal than Quicksilver. I don't know, let's go. That doesn't make, I mean, absolutely no sense, even more so. You know why I think it's Red Skull? Because he was the keeper of one of the stones. Yep. Yeah, that's why. So maybe if this is connected to the stone, he actually has some powers now. He should, since he is on that planet guarding the stone. God damn it. That's gonna be amazing, you know? Amazing. So this is my guess, just guesses. I'm happy that I guessed right, I mean, some of the things. But let me know, what are your theories about the next final episodes of WandaVision, and what do you think is gonna happen? Who do you think is that big Luke Skywalker level or cameo? And all of those things. But with that being said, guys, if you like to support me, you can become a member of the channel. Check my OnlyFans for meaningful sex education and fitness and wellness content, my Patreon for casual support, and of course there's always PayPal. And I'm also now on Odyssey, that's alternative to YouTube, so I'm copying my channel over there. You can earn actually currency there, and it literally rewards both viewers and creators. Just letting you know, also the app is awesome. Library is the app on the Google Store. If you're on iOS, it's Odyssey. But that's it, guys. Till next time with me, Gary G Reviews. Bye bye.